What does it feel like to survive when no one expects you to? After a horrific accident left me broken, Falun Dafa guided my remarkable healing body and spirit. Through difficult months, I regained my strength, cared for my loved ones, and found quiet resilience every day. I hope my experience brings hope and comfort to anyone facing the impossible. I am a Falun Dafa practitioner living in rural China. I began practicing in the spring of 1999, but after July 20 that year, when the persecution of Falun Gong started, I stopped due to fear. In 2010, when I was 54, I faced a severe tribulation and narrowly escaped death thanks to Master Li's compassionate salvation. My family was engaged in the grain business. On the afternoon of October 13, 2010, I was helping load corn. Then I went inside to boil some water. As I was coming out with a large bowl of tea in hand, I saw a big truck loaded with corn become entangled with the grain conveyor belt, which was 17 meters long, 2 meters wide, and weighed over 2 tons. The conveyor belt had tilted slightly. Just as I was about to press the button to lift the conveyor belt slightly higher and free it from the truck, another person tried to do the same. For some reason, the conveyor belt didn't rise. Instead, it tilted over and crashed onto me. I passed out upon impact. An ambulance arrived, and as the paramedics were placing me inside, I regained consciousness and heard my husband crying. "Ouch! My back!" I yelled out, then passed out again. I remained unconscious until about 6:30 p.m. When I awoke, I saw several relatives and friends crying around me. I didn't feel any pain, had no fear, and no tears. I only felt thirsty, so I drank a lot of water. Gradually, I became clear-headed. Around 2000 a.m., I felt unbearably thirsty again, as if my life had come to an end. I started talking to my husband about making end-of-life arrangements. "Take me home, or I won't be able to see our younger daughter anymore." I said to my husband, "I also need to explain our business accounts to you." After I explained the major accounts, I passed out again. I felt as if I had entered a large, oval-shaped pot, very comfortable, and I didn't feel any pain. About 5:30 a.m., the next day, I woke up and saw the room was full of people. "Why are you here so early?" I asked. The visitors were surprised to hear me speak. One said, "We've been calling to wake you up for 3 hours and almost lost our voices." From that moment, I became clear-headed and began the healing process. A nurse asked me, "Auntie, do you know how many injuries you have?" 22 in total, including 11 broken bones. Your head and face received the most damage. My face was injured because I was holding a big ceramic bowl of tea when the accident happened. The bowl smashed onto my face and shattered. My forehead, face, mouth, and chin were badly injured, and 2 of my front teeth were damaged, with one pushed inward and the other pushed outward. My lower lip was torn in 4 places, and my head and face were covered in cuts from the ceramic shards, with the deepest being 1 cm wide and the length of 3 fingers. 5 of my ribs were broken. 1 punctured my lung, which caused massive bleeding, and my chest cavity was filled with blood. Doctors were focused on saving my life and didn't pay much attention to my rib injuries, which were mostly left to heal on their own. I now have misaligned or overlapping ribs, as well as some that were properly aligned. I can feel them with my hand. My right leg was broken below the knee, and my left leg sustained comminuted fractures, multiple fragments or splinters, from the pelvis to the knee, while my pelvis was fractured in 2 places. To this day, my pelvis remains misaligned, but I can walk normally. My left shoulder blade was also fractured, and my lumbar spine was broken in the crash. It later healed on its own, but 1 vertebra overlaps another by about an inch, so I am now an inch shorter. Apart from 2 surgeries on my legs and stitches for the long wound on my mouth, all other injuries were left to heal naturally. During the healing process, my face looked deformed and bloody, making it difficult for others to look at. The patient next to me, in her 40s, had sustained injuries from a motorbike accident. She was in a lot of pain and cried and screamed constantly. I didn't feel any pain from my injuries, which surprised many. Even though I felt no pain, I had a fever above 38 degrees Celsius for about 40 days. One morning in a dream, I heard a Falun Gong practitioner calling my name. Around 9:30 that morning, this practitioner came to visit me. Tears streamed down my face, as if I were reuniting with a loved one after a long separation. When I was discharged 4 months later, all the doctors and nurses in the orthopedic department were amazed by my speedy recovery from such serious injuries. When I returned home, I thought, other people were screaming in pain from one injury. Why didn't I feel any pain after I was so badly injured? Suddenly, I remembered Master. It was Master who saved my life and endured all the pain for me, even though I had been such a disappointing disciple. So, I said to my husband that I wanted to return to Dafa cultivation and asked him to give me my Dafa books he had been hiding. He didn't object and gave me the books. Since I still couldn't stand up to do the exercises, I focused on reading the book Zhuan Falun. In less than a week, I was able to walk with crutches. Then, Master started cleansing my body and I experienced diarrhea for nearly 2 months. Even though I weighed less than 40 kilos, I remained in very good spirits and full of energy. I could walk 1 kilometer on crutches without feeling tired. My family and friends thought it was incredible. 5 months later, I was free from crutches and my health continued to improve. An older practitioner often encouraged me, which helped build my confidence in cultivation. Because I spent more time studying the Fa and improving my Xinqing, my health also got better and I returned to normal. To the doctors, my recovery was miraculous. They all thought I would either die or end up crippled and confined to bed. Now, there is hardly any scarring on my face. The scar on my lip is inside my lower lip, so it's hidden, and my hair covers the scars on my head. A year later, when I went to the hospital to have the metal plates removed from my legs, the attending doctor could hardly believe his eyes. I turned out to be remarkably healthy, with no lingering effects from multiple severe injuries. You're truly a medical miracle. It's truly a miracle, he said excitedly. Years later, I suffered 2 additional bone fractures in my legs when I was trapped between an electric tricycle and a wall. One side of my body turned black and blue, and I had a long gash on my arm, but the injuries healed very quickly. Master saved me again. By September 2019, my husband was no longer able to care for himself after 3 strokes. I looked after him daily until he passed away in June 2022. During that time, another miraculous thing happened. My husband could not sit up or lie down without assistance. One afternoon, while sitting on the couch, he wanted to lie on the mattress on the floor in the lounge room. His younger brother happened to be visiting and helped him move to the mattress. Then he left. Later, my husband said, "It's so comfortable lying here, but who will help me get back on the sofa?" "I will do it," I said to him. My husband weighed over 70 kilos, and I was less than 50 kilos. "You're so delicate. How can you lift me up?" "I have my master helping me," I assured him as I started to lift him, holding his legs with my right arm and his back with my left arm. It felt like I was carrying a small child as I gently placed him on the couch. "Wow, this is incredible. Amazing," my husband exclaimed in surprise. Every time I took him to the county hospital for treatment, the doctor would say, "Don't bother coming here anymore. He is at the end of his life." When I took him to the township hospital, doctors also said, What's the point of seeking treatment? He will soon be gone. Could even be sooner than so-and-so in your village. IDA. ID8, where Rontler. IDA ni. IDA. ATA. HI. IDA. After 40 days of being in a coma, my husband lived for another 2 years. Master had extended his life. During the last 2 years of his life, I had many opportunities to improve my Xinqing. Because of his illness, my husband became rather irritable and often lost his temper over trivial things. I maintained my Xinqing and never argued with him. He was like a big child, and as soon as he heard about a place that could treat his illness, he would ask me to take him there for treatment. To make him happy, I did everything according to his wishes, even though I knew it would be a waste of time and money. Whenever he saw something he liked to eat, he would ask for it regardless of the cost, and I always fulfilled his wishes. He used all our savings, but I didn't mind. Dafa enabled me to let go of worldly pursuits, broaden my heart and mind, and transform me into someone who lives for the benefit of others. These days, my cultivation path is getting broader. I'm nearly 70 now, but I'm glowing with health and show no signs of aging. Every day I take my granddaughter to school and pick her up afterwards. I handle all the washing, cooking, and other household chores without feeling tired. All of this has been bestowed on me by Dafa and Master. Thank you, benevolent Master. Thank you, fellow practitioners. If you're curious about Falun Dafa, Falun Gong, or want to know more about the experiences of practitioners in China, explore the trustworthy resources and links below. You'll find in-depth accounts and organizations dedicated to sharing the truth. If my story touched you, please subscribe, like, and share. Your support helps keep these courageous voices heard.